Hello, everyone, and welcome to Upstory Unfiltered. This is the video podcast series. I don't know what it is, but we every week, three of us product designers react. I guess two product designers and one growth strategist. We react to the apps that we use on our daily basis and just give some hopefully really good feedback. I'm Rick. I'm the founder of Upstory. We've worked with some small companies, just small startups all the way up to companies with millions and millions of users. And we just really like having fun building great products with our friends. So let me introduce my team. This is Daniel.
Daniel, senior designer here at Upstory. Like Rick was saying, worked with a bunch of small companies, mainly companies from seed to Series B, so a lot of startup experience.
Yeah, awesome. And then we have Nash.
Hey guys, can you hear the banging in the basement by chance?
I can't hear anything, no.
We got some work going on in the basement. First, I'll take the honorary product designer.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, maybe not. I'm Nash, growth strategist, work with small companies up to mid-sized companies, and as always, guys, happy to be here.
Awesome. So today we have an app that we're reviewing. This is a little different than what we normally do. So just for some context, we've met a couple of people on LinkedIn who work at Loom, and thought it would be really fun to review the Loom app. This is one, by the way, this is close to my heart. I use Loom a lot. I really like it. And it's kind of fun because I remember my first experience with Loom thinking, I really like what you do, but there were a couple things that caught me that was just like, it felt a little messy. And now as I've gotten into it and I've gotten closer to it, some of those things I've learned to ignore over time. But it's going to be kind of fun to kind of go back to that experience of the first onboarding. Like how did we feel about Loom when we first started using it? So yeah, as always, when we do these, I just want to just say that, it's really easy for us to come in and give constructive feedback from a third party point of view. And sometimes, we miss some context you might already know internally. And so some of the things we say, in fact, what we've often found is that what we work on or what we say is we send it to a team and they say, yeah, you hit all of the things that we're working on right now. This is awesome. And thanks. And oftentimes what happens is they share it internally, and it's kind of like it becomes this catalyst to push it internally to say, hey, it's not just me saying this completely third-party neutral, these designers have been like, yeah, this is exactly what we should do. And so it's kind of funny. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit. I'm just really excited to talk about Loom. So let's get to it. I'm going to present my screen. And right away, I'm going to just share what my Loom looks like at the moment. But I think even more helpful will be to see kind of that initial onboarding experience for a new user. So yeah, any thoughts, Daniel, Nash, before we get going into this?
It's pretty straightforward to me.
All right.
Tabs on the left, recent videos in the middle, teams shared knowledge grew by 4 videos. Can you click on view your insights?
Yeah.
What does that do? Okay.
0 views this week. Oh man, team's got to start looking at my videos. Come on, guys. Come on.
I thought you said use it all the time.
I know. This is embarrassing. Now, I'm using it all the time, but no one's actually watching my videos. No, I'm not sure this is actually accurate. I know a few people have been looking at them, so yeah. That's interesting.
So for sure, we've been sending as a team to other our clients too. So
yeah,
definitely would be stuff in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at this. I communicate like a pro. I will say, looking at this, they do a good job of warming you up. and like these little things that say, I'm good at this. I'm good at what I do. Kind of, it's a nice little kind of visual value add. So
Yeah. It would be cool, and this is totally like left field thinking, but just seeing those analytics, it would be kind of cool if Loom had like a general, like a pseudo mission of making better speakers and making better presenters. Because I know when I do Looms, I edit it a lot to fill out places where I'm rambling or places where I'm trying to like think about what I wanted to say and things like that. But if there's like a hidden mission of making people better presenters, better speakers, more confident in themselves, and those analytics that you just shared, kind of like that's what sparked that idea for me. It's like, you use 1% less filler words, like that means you're a better speaker. You're turning into a better speaker. Your ideas are being more clearly said, and things like that. That would actually make me feel more invested in Loom. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm using Loom, saving everyone's time, but I'm also becoming better at presenting. So now when I'm like presenting at like a staff meeting or something, I feel a little bit more confident, knowing that I've been improving over the weeks, over the years.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting. What would you do specifically? I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but what would you do specifically to accomplish that?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. So there's the actual recording experience, like helping the user understand like how to record a video well. So like maybe force functioning things, like have your notes on the side. I know when you do Loom, it's just like you just record your screen and you can choose what you want to record. But then a lot of times, like if I need to, like I'll have it something hidden behind the background. I'll make the window smaller, and then I'll have like notes on the side, and I'll scroll off screen through the notes.
Yeah.
But if it's like a way where that's baked in, like it'll help me to go through. Even if I write a script out, like maybe it reads it through or moves it kind of like like people on news have like their script, like maybe like that. Like those are kind of like practical examples, but
that's an interesting point. It gets beyond just making you a better speaker, but also into like everyday practical use, which is that very often I do the same thing. Like right now, my screen is a bit of a mess, but I just zoomed into this screen, and oftentimes, just like you, I kind of move all my notes off to the side, and I'm looking off to the side to review my notes. But there could be a real easy feature, which could be like Loom could put a notes, like a sticky thing that's just for you that other people can't see on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like there could be an opportunity for them to just like have that like just like a presenter notes kind of thing that they used to do back in the day with I'm sure they still do, but in PowerPoint or whatever. I say back in the day because nobody uses PowerPoint anymore, do they really? Everyone's using Loom. But no, I mean I think that could hit both sides and potentially those kind of presenter notes could actually be a dual purpose. Like one side could be like your notes, and the other side could be kind of recommendations, live recommendations based on previous videos, based on some of the other things you did. That's a really cool idea for a feature. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, in fact, the general premise, what I think is really cool is making you into a better speaker, like improving. For me, I think that's like pretty novel.
Yeah.
But I like the idea because personally, I feel like I'm not the best speaker, and then I've been told I mumble a lot. So maybe like things like that. Maybe if Loom can tell your speech level is hard to like, for like a general person, it's hard to understand or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. And side note, we've been working on our own project that uses kind of video machine learning to kind of understand video. And one of the things we've talked about a little bit is understanding sentiment in a video, where it's like positive sentiment, negative sentiment, and things like that. And the point is, the tools are out there. The AI is out there to really understand the sentiment of what you're saying. And so being able to kind of provide feedback. In fact, it reminds me of another project. I think, Daniel, you helped with this. It was one of those projects where it was kind of helping you kind of give feedback on how you're presenting and how you're selling, and or whatever it is that you're doing. I think there's some opportunity here to do that. I'd like to jump, unless Nash or Daniel, you have more on that, I'd like to jump a little bit through the platform and then go through the onboarding as well.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So yeah, one of the things I noticed right away when I look at the dashboard on my platform, in my mind, I'm guessing this is an intentional thing that they've done. But I typically think I want to see my videos here and see other people's videos somewhere else. Or maybe show both, a snippet of each. Because what I often see is like, these are the things that other people send to me. But quite honestly, I never go to my dashboard to see that. I'm always going to my dashboard to see my videos that I'm working on. So it just kind of, to me, it feels more like I'd rather it focus on my library or have both there rather than having all of them. I do like, by the way, it seems so simple, but the idea that they show like who viewed what, and it is interesting now. It was 4 days ago the last time someone watched one of my videos, so we'll have to talk to the team about that, I guess. But no, I mean, I think that there's a lot. Interesting. I've never used the watch later feature. I think there's a lot of opportunity with what you were saying with the kind of presenter notes, and to add a little bit to that. One of the things I often run into is when I'm creating a video, I'll often like move the screen around, or I'll want to move the screen around, but the way that Loom works, if I do this, like you can't see it here, but if I move the screen around, it kind of breaks the video and it doesn't stay where it's supposed to go. And I think that's like, from a technical perspective, maybe that's hard. But I do know when I've done it, when you do screen sharing with other video applications, like you move the size of the window or you move it around, like it still does work as a screen share. And then they'd have to have black bars if you're changing the size of things. But I think that would be fine. And that would give me more confidence when I'm creating looms that I could actually, I could send it knowing that I didn't accidentally put something over the top of it or something else like that. Like, as an example, as a side note, the way that these videos that we're doing right now work is that I'm actually taking this screen here and I'm putting it on top of my Google Meet, which is what we're recording with. And like, it works for this use case, great, but it's actually a risk. Like, if you're sharing your screen and something else pops up, you open messages or something like that. When I'm doing Looms, I often feel like, oh no, now I'm sharing my Messages app. And I'd rather, when you say we're sharing a screen, that we would only lock it to the content on that screen. So that's more of a technical thing, but I think it's still a user experience, part of the product where we're getting into this kind of the fears of your users. Like, oh, I don't want to share something that I didn't mean to share. I think that's always, whenever you're creating videos of your screen, it's always a concern is, am I accidentally sharing something that I shouldn't have shared?
Yeah. That's fair. And it's totally my worry too. And I have to like edit it out or re-record it.
Yeah.
Go back, make sure, did I share that or not?
Did they recently add like a blur to Loom? An auto blur or something?
Maybe.
Feature? Thought I saw that. Could be wrong. Because that would solve some of that, wouldn't it?
Like blur the areas that are.
Yeah.
Let me go to one of these here.
Maybe I saw it somewhere else.
I was just looking at this. Let's just go to the edit here. I kind of remember something like that, but I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it here.
You click on transcript.
Yeah, you can do transcript editing, by the way. Have you tried this?
No.
So
I think it always tells me to ask you to get it.
is that what it is? Okay, let's see here. Take it, skip
Yes,
the tour.
They can remove filler words for you, which is great.
No, but I mean, like, you can go right here and just like
Oh, you can trim words.
delete that section of the video.
Oh.
But let's hit it, trim. So I just deleted that section of the video right there.
It's gone.
And let's grab this here.
Interesting way to edit.
Yeah, and I think this makes a lot of sense to be able to edit like this. The one thing I will say is that from a technical, from like an actual real world standpoint, I've always found it to be so slow that it's like I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Hard to use.
Yeah, it ends up being just a little bit clunky.
I was gonna say, if the transcripts are all there too, then you definitely like. I think what I'm trying to say is gonna be a little too abstract.
Okay. Yeah, so coming back to that though, I know this is something, Daniel, we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
This waveform editor, in theory, is super useful. In practice, has been really, really hard to use. And like from a design standpoint, I don't think there's a lot that's totally wrong. It's much more the implementation is. It's really slow, and so as you like drag it like sometimes it lags a little bit, and like when you're trying to tap a certain spot, it just can't quite figure out.
The edges are hard to get to.
Yeah, and I think that there's a way, like a big thing. I mean, this is probably a hard feature, but a big thing that would make a big difference would be the ability to allow me to zoom in and out here, like of the waveform and scroll left and right. But I can't.
Yes. Probably it to zoom in there.
Yeah, if I could zoom in on these, like if I could, hold a key command or even just have like a plus minus, like that would go a long way. But what also happens is like you're trying to like split a section. You do this, like I'm trying to just deselect this and I can't. But let's just say we want to split it. I can't figure it. It's just kind of bogged for me now. But I can't figure out like, okay, split at 11:45. Is it splitting at the end of this or is it splitting at the playhead? Looks like it's at the playhead. So I hit this, and then when I want to go do another edit, I don't know what I'm editing here. I'm a little confused. Like, is this the content now, these two sections, or what happens? And that's one of the things I felt like the player just has enough that just doesn't quite make sense to me, that it makes it really, really hard to make edits on this.
Yeah, this is very minimal edits for me. If I'm just trying to get rid of a section of text.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So with that,
yes,
go ahead.
Sorry, Rick. What do you guys think their goal is?
Their goal is to erase a large amount of meetings. It's their stated goal, right?
Well, I guess, from my perspective, it's like I was a long time free user, freemium.
Yeah.
I get the sense maybe their business goal is turn people into paid users.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
100%. Yeah, and really it's going to be lifetime value. I think they've gotten to a point where and that's good that you bring this up, because we can talk all we want about all these little nitpicks and things like that, but do they help accomplish the goal of having a high lifetime value for their customers? And beyond that, it's not just, that's from a money standpoint, right? But I do think that I have felt that Loom has goals that are beyond just making money, right? I think that they really do care about the mission. And I think that mission for them is, like I said, it's making the best platform for you to remove sync meetings, essentially. And it helps. I mean, we use it a lot. And yeah, I think they want to build a killer product. And so to some extent, I am curious. I don't know what their KPIs might be, but I suspect it's going to be a little bit less about growth and more about the value for each of the customers that they have. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they need to grow massively. I think they got, Nash, you probably can find this, but I think they got a massive investment or buyout. I forget what it was.
I see a 130 million Series C.
Okay,
that's at first glance, but
yeah, and I think it was at like $1 billion valuation though. So yeah, they're doing all right,
I get the sense that it's like they're trying to become very sticky, because I can sense that somebody will just like stop using it or not use it a lot, and it just sits there. Now I'm going to get rid of it, and so let's create a lot of features. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but
well, and also to not let anyone get hung up on things. So the things that we're talking about, honestly, if you're talking about stickiness or lifetime value, either of those are going to require cleaning out the rough edges of the app. I think there are, the video editing is one. I know it's probably not everybody who wants to edit the videos, mostly probably start and end point. But I do think making that a little bit easier to use is going to be a key. And like Daniel was saying, like helping people become better speakers in general. I do think they're focusing on that a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit. And, having some option for that would be really, I think it would help make it stickier, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think just to build on top of that, I think Loom as a product does what it needs to do pretty well. Like it records what I need to record. I'm at the bottom corner, not there. Records my screen, gets what I want across, and send it over. Check done. People save meetings. Like they don't need to hop on a call and then waste maybe 30 minutes on a call or something. I think it does that great. But then kind of as like maybe a next step for Loom, like this, for example, like sales teams, new feature for sales teams, like use Loom to boost buyer engagement. Like what if Loom helped people sell better?
Yeah.
And like has like features in it to help people get better engagement, like not just by sending more Looms, but then like when you're on Loom, what does Loom provide the sales account executive to be more persuasive in his calls, or like to be a better salesperson? Like that, I feel like would be a huge competitive edge over like recording on like a Google Chat or something, or just using QuickTime on my MacBook to record something.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Helpful.
Yeah, I think, empowering people to be better at what they do is always going to be a win. No, that's awesome. Something's not loading for me now. Okay, let me go ahead and, if I can, I'm going to just try and reload this here. No, it doesn't want to load at all. There we go. Let's go through the onboarding a little bit. And by the way, I'm saying this, we've said this before, and I want to say it again. it's real easy to look at something that you're not super closely involved in and throw out all these different things and like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, you need to be doing this. Oh, this. It's like, we mean this in the best of intentions. I think that this is something that we really, first of all, we love Loom and we want it to be better. Not because it's bad, but because we want all our tools to be better. Like, in general, everybody does. And I also think, though, it's fun to have the opportunity to talk and dream about these things. So anyway, let me go ahead and I'm going to sign up for Loom, brand new. Pop-up window blocked. Here we go. And choose account. I'm going to go with, find something that doesn't have, all right, we're going to go with Bolty. All right, continue. Agree to terms, which you guys aren't seeing this, but it's there. All right, close this tab and visit your dashboard. Oh, you guys aren't seeing any of this. It's a bummer. So it's asking, how do you plan on using Loom? I'm going to say for work. What type of work do you do? I'm in design. Continue. So it's just some basic onboarding questions. Workspace name, Bolty. And teammates can automatically join as creator light. And invite your teammates. I'm not going to invite my teammates. It's probably one of their, we talked about this before, like one of their goals. They're trying to become, the thing for everybody, the thing for teams. Okay, so now it's asking to do the Chrome extension in the desktop app. I do remember this, like, what is it, how do I want to use Loom? And for now, I use the desktop app, so I could hit download here, and I'll continue to workspace. Oh, it changed to a new window. You know what? That's weird. It popped it up to a different window altogether. Let me share my other screen here, because you guys should see this then.
Everything just happened on the new window?
Yeah, it did, and it was a small window too. That's kind of odd. Not sure if that was on purpose. So I made it bigger, but so then here's their onboarding. Auto message composer. So I've never used this. And it comes back to, like, right away, first of all, it looks like that's a paid feature and probably a paid premium feature. What's interesting about this is they never kind of told me what Loom is. They never kind of gave me the basics of Loom and how to do it. They right away got into some of their more advanced features. And I wonder if that's because I didn't load the app. And if I were to load the app first, which I can't do now because I'm actually literally recording on Loom right now. But if I were to load the app first, I wonder if it would kind of walk me through that process. So I'm not sure if this is going to be an accurate view of onboarding. But I will say, right away getting into some of these more advanced features, which are cool, it feels a little bit much.
It's a little early or a random spot for an upsell.
Yeah, like you haven't gotten me on the app yet, and you're already upselling me. I'd rather it see like this: record your first Loom, record a Loom. I do see this though. They got their checklist. I think that's fair. That makes sense.
Yes, I think some volume is bleeding through.
Yeah. Record a video, share your video, get a view, invite a teammate. Yeah, I think this is a clear checklist. I think everything is good. So really, I mean, in my mind, their onboarding, they do a good job of getting you right in. And I like that the first thing they have is just this record a Loom. It maybe could be a bigger call to action. And then they have some Loom, like they preloaded you with some Loom kind of case studies and some ideas. I remember getting this and thinking, some of these are useful. I mean, maybe this is it's a lot, actually. It's a lot of videos. But I do like the way they do this. The one thing I would say is those upsells right away feel a little bit rushed, like you were saying, Daniel. Any other
Yeah.
thoughts on the onboarding?
Um, maybe not onboarding, but this landing page, perhaps. I think onboarding because we didn't really see it. I'm assuming it just took you through a couple steps,
Yeah.
got some information, and threw you in. Which is cool. I think Loom is pretty self-explanatory to use. Like literally, record button, and you get the buttons coming up on the side. But yeah, this homepage, I feel like almost home, library, and notifications. I don't know, maybe it's this the decision was to split it up to make it more simple, but I feel like home, library, and notifications could all be in one page.
Yeah,
In one page.
I think you're probably right. Interesting where I just was there. That wasn't the homepage. That was the Loom's videos page. So they didn't even land me on the homepage, which is kind of interesting because it's like,
Yeah.
remember we were just talking about like the homepage feels like a kind of an odd thing to land you on, and then they don't even land you on the homepage when you get there first.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's an opportunity to kind of clean all of that up. And I remember, now let's go back to what I said earlier. At the very start, I said, it felt like there was a lot going on when I first loaded Loom. I knew what it was. I'd seen other people do it. But it just felt like a little overwhelming. And I can see it now that the initial experience, I think maybe what it is all those upsells. It felt just a little bit cluttered, a little bit like, where's my focus? And even back to what we had before with this this button, record a Loom. Like, it's all fine. It's all great. And again, I mean this in the best way possible. Like, Loom has been amazing, and I love Loom. But I think that there's a little bit of a lack of focus here. Like, am I supposed to look at the Loom community videos? Am I supposed to record a Loom? What am I supposed to do next? And I think they could do a better job of just kind of like visually guiding you through this, where the priority, the hierarchy, Daniel, we talk about this all the time at Upstory.
Yeah.
The word hierarchy comes up virtually every day, it seems like, where what is the visual hierarchy of this page? What are the things that we're supposed to be looking at first? And if I look at this right now, these are the things I should be looking at first, not record a Loom. And that might be backwards. I think that when I first loaded it, and it's possible that at the time they probably had a different landing page. It wasn't too long ago, maybe a year ago. I remember feeling like it's just a little bit cluttered when I first loaded it. And it's just kind of a lot speaking to me all at the same time. So really, if I were to say from a UI standpoint, one of the big things I would do is really take a fine-tooth comb at everything they have and just kind of say, hey, does this make sense to be there? Does this make sense to be there? Like, where are our priorities? My goodness. And where can we shuffle things around a little bit to make it really, I think those little things are things that their customers may not know it. They may not know it like consciously, but I think subconsciously they will feel it. They'll feel that, hey, this is just a little bit easier to use. I kind of understand this a little bit better. I don't know what you did when you refreshed it back in 2024. You got that outside agency to help you. Wink, wink, whatever. But no, like, I do think that's the sort of thing that people will feel. And I think there's opportunity here to just make some just subtle changes in hierarchy.
Yeah, I think Loom did a great job on the core product of
100%.
record and send. But then everything else around that, maybe still like has to catch up. Maybe one thing to think about is like identify who's onboarding. So Rick, you just onboarded as anyone, but then maybe if Rick onboarded as a sales executive, then maybe this homepage looks a little different on like 3 tips for recording for sales professionals versus like I don't know, just like a random community video, or tips on how to use Loom as a sales professional, things like that. I think might be cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know that they're not doing that. They might, because I chose design. Like they might have customized my experience
maybe,
because of that, but it doesn't look like they did. I think that was more just kind of onboarding data. So, yeah. Well, cool. Any other thoughts before we kind of wrap it up and kind of put together a summary here?
Yeah, I get the sense that, yeah, this is a really great product. I think what Loom needs now is like real visionaries and strategists at this point. I think they're in like the next level of like, we built something that's really great and works real well, and now we don't need people to, so obviously we need people to execute the design, but we need people to think like big and boldly and creatively on like what's next for Loom. And so that's what I love about like this team is that's something that is rare and you don't find it in like everyday executors. I don't.
Right.
You know more design executors than I do, but that's the sense I get here.
No, I think you're probably right. It's interesting. One thing we didn't talk about in all of this is you're talking about where does Loom go next. If you've been using Loom for the last 6 months or year, you probably know where Loom has kind of stated they're going next, and it's all the AI features. Like, pay more to get more AI features. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm kind of done with that. I'm just like, not that I'm done with AI. Like, of course, there's so much opportunity. Yeah. We're literally building an AI product right now, so it's like I'm not done with AI. But it feels to me like it's a little bit of a me too. Like, oh yeah, we can also change the title for you. Like, if you get the premium version, we got all these little AI things to remove your filler words and to do like those are kind of nice little add-ons, but they're not like really pushing it forward.
Helping to put your hat on.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're definitely useful. And sometimes I get crap for, kind of poo-pooing some AI features, that sort of thing. I don't get me wrong. Like I do think that, nobody in this meeting will think that I don't see the value in AI. I definitely 100% do. It's much more just, I think of AI I like to think of it more the way that Apple sells features. Like, Apple doesn't sell it as AI feature. They sell it as feature powered by AI. Like, the AI is the secondary thing. The feature is the primary thing.
Supplemental.
Exactly. And it's not so much that it's, because it's AI we do, it's like, that's kind of a buzzword right now that's everyone's excited about, I guess, but and terrified about, honestly. But I think there's a way to come in, and Daniel, what you're saying about kind of helping guide me in making better videos, I think that might push it a little bit more toward kind of the value rather than the feature, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe there's 3 tips for recording a clear and engaging video, like instead of making a video about it, like maybe implement whatever he's saying into the product. I don't know what he's saying, but
yeah,
just that along those lines of the features that we're providing you helps you become a better speaker.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be something to put your hat on. It's definitely a marketing thing. Like, hey, use Loom and you become more confident, you can speak better, your ideas are more heard. You can execute on things you want. I don't know, things like that. But
right,
basically, just like I would love that. Like, if there's an app that my company is even paying for that turns me into someone who can talk better, can clearly explain my ideas, and I have the chance to record it over and over. There's no pressure like having to do it right the first time every time, and then I see like my progress getting better. Like, there's some like tool that shows me, oh, you're getting better and better. I can keep track on the things that I've been pushing out video wise. People have been watching it, and like my ideas have been getting shared. My ideas have been getting like acted upon, like I'll feel so good, and then I'll tell them to everyone like, hey, like I got a promotion today, and I can just genuinely say it's because of Loom.
Man, that'd be killer. I like it.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So if we were to summarize all of this, I see, oftentimes when we do these videos, we usually try and focus on like, what are the things we can do like in the next 30 days, 60 days. And to some extent, I think those are going to be a little harder for Loom because they have such a mature product. I think there are things that Loom could do in the short term. So what I would say is I see about 3 or 4 things total. The first, the ones that they could do kind of prioritize right now in kind of this short term, and they could probably get some metrics to see how do what does day 0 retention look like when we make these changes. And one of those things they could do is just kind of cleaning up a little bit of the priority. Like what is the priority of the different buttons, the different sections on the site. And I think especially when it comes to onboarding, like maybe focus more on that first interaction, a little bit less on trying to upgrade people to the premium version. I know you still can do that, but you don't necessarily need to do that on day 0. So that's number 1. I think just kind of adjusting the priority a little bit. Then moving more to some more long-term things. The second one would be looking at looking at like some of the pain points that their users are having. And we talked about it, Daniel, like the video editor is just, it's a little bit clunky. It's a little bit unclear to understand what you're doing. And oftentimes you and I have both done this. We've been editing videos and we think we've done it, and you hit like save and nothing happens. It's just like, that was frustrating. And that's going to help with their kind of the stickiness. Like that's a big deal if you get users frustrating using your product. And then the other little things like I said, with the way that we share the app, record the screen, and like when you move something around, it doesn't actually lock it in, and so you could potentially be, people could have that fear of it's not properly locked into what I'm on. And maybe, I'm kind of dumping a few things into the second point, which is like this kind of helping your current users. And part of that might be like, what do we show on the homepage? What do we show on the notifications of my library? Yeah. I think there's some combined version of all of those pages that could work. And then finally, this is more kind of blue ocean thinking, is I think there's real opportunity for them to, I'm going to split it into kind of 2 things. One is have, like, while you're making the video, have video notes and suggestions. And I think those 2 things together could just be killer. And the easy one would be notes. Like literally just have a little thing that shows up at the top. We know it won't be recorded. You maybe even have a note that like, hey, this is never going to be in your screen, recording. Like having that there where you can always refer to your notes, but then having like another tab, like Daniel, you were saying, that could do, kind of help you be a better speaker, give you some tips on what it is that you're saying and what it is that you're doing, that we could help you become better at doing what you are already doing. I think there's some huge opportunity for that. And I'd love to help. That would be a really, really fun green hat. We use these. Yeah. I won't get into the green hat, all the different hats, but blue ocean thinking, that would be really fun to do that with them.
Yeah, I agree. And even if it's not like making you a better speaker, probably could look at Loom's like, I just say sales professionals because I saw like that headlines, and maybe that's what they're targeting. But like, really create like a sales.loom.com or something, and like really dive into like how can Loom make sales people better? How can we help them do their job better? And obviously, you don't need to have like CRM stuff like Salesforce does or anything, but then like, what can Loom do as like a video recording software to really help these people make get raises, get promotions, like be happier in their life, like work less maybe. Like what can Loom do to help them? And like really focus in on a certain group and nail it, and then like move on to like, the next group, and eventually like, you'll take everyone over.
I like that. A way to actually roll it out rather than just like some random thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Nash, any parting thoughts?
No, I'm just curious what the design style is. What do you guys call this?
Boy. I don't really know. I mean, it's a little bit like just kind of the common style on the web, just a friendly web. I want to say Web 2.0, but there's no like gradients and whatever. Like, there's a little bit of that friendly feeling to it. I know we've
I just
talked
call
to
it tech design. All tech feels like
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, a little happy, a little inviting, techy.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, again, if you're at Loom, you're watching this, we mean this with the best of intentions. I think this could be, I think there's some real cool opportunities here, and I'm sure some of these things are already things that your team has been working on. Yeah, it's been really fun taking a look, kind of a critical look at Loom. Again, we love Loom. We use it all the time. And thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.